Good morning, world. And welcome back to yet another fun-filled episode with us on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. As we embark upon it, will be another great episode this morning. We got a lot of news, a lot of stuff to talk about. We thank you for chopping it up with us. We thank you all. We thank you in advance for the time that will be had. And so, yes, well, we are back like a shark attack, back like we left something, back like we ain't got no clothes on our back. And for the world is a better place in the moment when the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast is taking place. And so, thank you for tuning in with us this morning as we converse about the latest sports topics that have taken place in this past week and will be upcoming this week. It is always a blast to have you all tune in and participate with us every weekend. As a reminder that every week we always like to begin our podcast by reminding our audience that the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast can be found on Facebook via our two Facebook pages, the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast community page, as well as additionally on our Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast Facebook page. You can find us on Instagram at EMSTP underscore, again on IG at EMSTP underscore, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify as the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast, as well as our own Facebook pages via Brandon Price, Jamar Goodman, Ian Jones, as well as our guests for that weekend. Today is April 11th, 2026, and we're seeing yet again another fascinating week in the sports world, where this past week we saw the men and women's NCAA tournaments conclude, leaving us with national champions, in which for the first time in UCLA basketball history for the women's side, they are national champions. And then this is the first time in 37 years for the University of Michigan. Additionally, we will see the WNBA make huge headlines because of the new CBA agreement, $1 million contracts being put out there. Now, congratulations to the Aces core. All three of those ladies are set to stay in Vegas. But additionally, we saw our Chicago Sky make another Chicago Sky type move, fellas. We'll talk about it shortly. Trading away Angel Reese to the Atlanta Dream for one first round pick, but a conditional second round pick in 2028 that it could be swapped. And so now she's down in Atlanta. But additionally, we will see Brittney Griner this morning be moved to the Connecticut Sun. And so a lot's happening in the WNBA. Additionally, by the way, it'll be turned up even more now. And that team could be a playoff contender. They got some pieces there in Atlanta. We would see the Frozen Four be played, leaving us with the University of Denver versus Wisconsin after a double overtime thriller between Denver and University of Michigan. Kind of the usual suspects in hockey's fellas: Denver, Michigan, Wisconsin, a few other schools. Congrats to those teams. They'll battle it out for the national championship, I believe, tonight. Additionally, the NBA is down to its final weekend. The Lakers clinched the home court last night. Right now, the East is all in jumbles. We don't know who's going to be what. Right now, the Lakers and Rockets are battling it out. So it's a lot to be decided. And then additionally, we still have to decide the MVP race. And so with that being said, introducing our brother from another mother, my party here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, Mystic Jamar Goodman. Mystic Jamar Goodman, good morning, sir. Happy Saturday. How are you, bro?
Man, dude, it's not even 8 o'clock yet. I felt like I had a full day already, but no, we here. Let's talk about these events that's just happened.
Yeah, I'd had a busy morning too, man. Busy morning, bro. Ian, our brother Ian, our partner here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, and the other brother from another mother, Mr. Ian Jones, aka Rod Tidwell, aka Peoples Hernandez, aka Cowley Watson. Mr. Ian Jones, my bro, happy Saturday. What it do?
What's good, guys? How we feeling this morning?
Good,
Good.
bro. Blessed to be here, man. Blessed to be here.
All right.
And so, fellas, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Men and women's NCAA tournament breakdown. Somebody suggested that we start with Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel. I told them, no, we're not going to start with that. No, we're not going to start with Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel. We're not going to do that. They just ADHD stuff. And so I'm like, we're going to focus on the NCAA tournament. Okay.
Messy boots.
So,
Too early to get that messy, man. Way too early.
so with that being said, Jamar, bro, on the men's side, University of Michigan, they took care of a feisty Connecticut team. What's your thoughts, man, from this game?
First and foremost, for my Big Ten people, finally, we Big Ten is back on top of the men's NCAA basketball bracket. Finally. If anything, I was more impressed with the way Michigan stumped Arizona, um, as opposed to them beating UConn. I mean, I feel like them beating UConn is going to be a foregone conclusion, even though Dan Hurley always has his teams prepared, ready, playing to the final whistle. But Michigan was just outclassing them. But going back to the Final Four, where a lot of people felt that Arizona was the better team. A lot of people felt that Arizona was probably the best team all year, them between them and Duke. And there's people, that were believing that the stigma that the Big Ten can't get it done, haven't got it done since Michigan State. It's been 25 years, yada, yada, yada. They're just going to choke this, and that. And the fact that they curve stumped them out the gate and continue to curve stump them, for me, that was a little bit more impressive than winning it all. But of course, nothing beat cutting down the nets, fighting off Dan Hurley and his team. Michigan getting it done. Fab Five there, doing their thing. I'm happy for the Wolverines. I am. Like, they got it done. They the coach, what's his name, May?
Yeah, Sean May.
Yeah.
Is that Mark May? Mark May.
I'm gonna say I don't think it's Sean.
Right, it ain't Sean. That's North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, a phenomenal job that he's done. We knew that he was a pretty good coach when he took FAU to the Final Four a couple of years ago. The fact that he was able to, bring in, these players that never played together but somehow bought in, and for Michigan to have the dominant run that they've had all year, early on beating teams by 30 and, just people was wondering, can this be sustainable? Can they actually finish the race? And they did. They did. I don't really have too much more to say, but congratulations to Michigan. They got it done. I feel like the monkey's off the back as far as the Big Ten. Matter of fact, Big Ten, represented on both men's and women's side. And of course, we know how Big Ten has been in college football lately. It just seemed like a breath of fresh air knowing the Big Ten is on top in a lot of these sports here lately. So kudos to Michigan.
Yeah. And I just want to add before you go in that I feel like with the addition of those West Coast teams that used to be Pac-10, it's made the Big Ten stronger. It's made it stronger, more competitive. Every game's coming down to the final whistle. These teams are doing good in these tournaments now, these competitions. And so, yeah, big kudos to the Big Ten. Yeah, and what was you going to say, bro?
Like Jamar said, shout out to the Big Ten. I had Indiana winning the Natty in football, and now we got
crazy
Michigan. We got Michigan winning it all. Man, crazy! I didn't know that about this Michigan team. The starting five was all transfers.
Yeah.
And I want to say as well, fellas, Michigan just looked big. Y'all see how big they are and lengthy and tall they is?
Yeah.
Yeah, they big as hell. They were bigger than Arizona. I'm like, damn. And they were definitely bigger than UConn. So you knew they was going to be UConn. UConn tried, but they just, go ahead and my bad. I don't want to get into the analysis.
Yeah. But, man, they balled on. It's basically the best offensive team in the country. That whole tournament run almost all year, but that ain't even how they won the game. They won the game playing defense.
Yeah, them come from behind blocks. They definitely D'd up Millender. They D'd up the kid that transferred. What was it, Tyrus Reed? That transferred from Michigan to UConn.
Yep.
Went to the Natty with UConn, lost. Went to the UConn Natty. Yeah, man. So.
I see we had a Morgan Park kid on the Michigan team as well.
You talking about number 21?
Yep.
He going
Um,
to the NBA. He should. At least he should.
Crazy man.
Understood.
That man. I guess I probably was gonna save this. I probably was gonna save this question for the basement, but I guess
Uh-oh.
we could
Nah,
touch
bring
on
it, bro.
we could
Bring
step
it.
down in the basement a little bit. Is this the is this the best Michigan team ever?
Whew.
Man, I would say
I know they
no.
got a natty. I know they got a natty in '89 with Glenn Rice.
Yeah.
Of course we know about the Fab Five,
Right.
but this is the NIL transfer five. They got a natty.
Um.
Right.
So I would say this is probably the best Michigan team I've seen with my own eyes to my conscious memory. Of course, I don't
Right.
remember the 2019. I was 1 year old.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. The Fab Five, consciously, I didn't remember them, but they
Still
didn't
young.
get it done. So by default for me, and the way how dominant they have been all year, this for me, I guess it would be by default. Like
Yeah.
they were that good this year.
No, they were.
Yeah, they were good. Fellas, for me, no. Now I just look at the Hall of Famers that was on that 5-5 team. I know they fell short to Chris Delaney and all those guys at Duke, and Chris Webber did what he did with that timeout. But that team was supposed to win a national championship. And so for me, I gotta go with that 5-5, fellas. Man, they had so much talent on that team. They just didn't
I,
get it done. Sometimes, like a lot of young teams don't do in college basketball, it happens a lot.
so
Unfortunately, they come up short.
I got a question. I got a question strictly for you,
Hmm.
Mr. Price.
Yeah,
So there's been a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas in college basketball. So
yeah.
let's say for example, Duke. So
Hmm.
Duke over the years, Duke has won national championships. So, let's go back to the Jay Williams and the Mike Dunleavy era. Um,
Escaped against Butler that year.
yep,
Gordon Hayward off the backboard.
yeah, and then we
Crazy.
also
Remember watching that.
had teams like with Zion, Barrett, RJ Barrett, Cam
Jason
Reddish. That
Tatum.
was all those teams that even the Cooper Flag team had like very
Michael
Right,
talented
Irvin
teams,
team.
never got it done. But yet we're gonna
right.
rank a team that's so talented that never got it done above a team that actually won it all.
Yeah, and I guess it's a little bit cheating because I done seen the NBA careers of those guys. I saw how good they turned out to be. And I don't know how good these guys on Michigan gonna turn out to be in the NBA with just how, you know, they ages right now. And so based off of the fact that I see Chris Webber, Jawan Howard, just those two alone in the careers they had in the NBA. Jalen Rose, it's yeah, I gotta go with that team, fellas. Come on now. Now I know Michigan got it done. I know they got it done. But man, that 5-5 was something else, man. They damn near changed the whole landscape of college basketball. Like you talking about Hollywood on, a hardwood floor, man, for college. They were it. They
I,
transcended the game.
I mean, I give you like most influential by all means, without a doubt. But actually, the most dominant team, they couldn't. If they would have beat either Duke or North Carolina, then without question. But they choked.
I get it. They choke. And my argument is that most young teams do choke. But I can see
Oh,
your point, bro. I really can. But if I
let's
put
say,
them two teams on the floor, I even feel like even with I know the basketball game has transcended a lot. It's a lot more skill. But I go with the 5-5 to bust them. Yeah, if I put them on the floor. No disrespect to Elliot Cadeau, Final Four most outstanding player, returning back to Michigan. Y'all heard the news, fellas. He returning
yeah,
back to Michigan. Lindenberg is actually projected to be our first round pick. at least according to mock NBA drafts. You know, and so kid from Morgan Park. He what's his name? Damn, and I just know he number 21, but he could be a potential draft pick as well. But I don't know, fellas. If I put them on the court, I'll say 5-5 and get him, Jamar. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I'm sure. I'm disappointed. Go ahead, Ian.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah. Shout out to those great Michigan teams. Shout out, Big Ten getting another natty and another major sport. Um,
Yeah.
it was a good March Madness, man. It was a good March Madness.
Definitely.
It was. I enjoyed
Um,
it.
Yeah.
how y'all feel about the women?
And you hosting that, dog. Man, I just for me, like, I feel like South Carolina was burnt out somehow, fellas, from what happened with Gino just a couple days ago. I feel like Dawn didn't really have a chance to really coach. She might have been some was off because it was just too easy for UCLA. Don't get me wrong, UCLA was a great team. They dominated the entire tournament. Lauren Betts, fellas, um, man, in the women's game, you got a woman as big like her. It's gonna transcend in the women's game. She just gonna dominate. And so they was trying to stop her, but they couldn't. And then additionally, Jacquez, y'all know the Miami Heat forward. He got a sister,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
she played for UCLA, and she'll project the
Hmm.
top 10 pick in the WNBA draft. She was killing South Carolina, lethal from the three, lethal. Um, I just felt like South Carolina fellas, like they didn't. I think they also took them a little too lightly. Didn't take them serious enough. And UCLA, they've been getting slept on all year. I feel like a lot of people felt like South Carolina was the favorites. Tell me if I'm wrong. A lot of people felt like South Carolina was going to take care of UCLA. Oh, they took care of UConn. That was the national championship right there. Not so fast. Not so fast. And UCLA had an easier bracket, just like Michigan. Like they had an easier side. So I felt like they was a little bit more fresh compared to South Carolina in who had just got into a dogfight with the best team overall on paper and the best team in college basketball the entire season. They just got out of the dogfight with them. Not on top of that, then you got all that emotion that happened after the game. All the headlines wasn't even on the basketball game. It was on Don Staley and Gino Auriemma going into the national championship. And that generally never happens. So shout out to UCLA, but I feel like that was part of the reason why UCLA dominated the way they dominated. They really, really dominated South Carolina. It wasn't even close.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think there's definitely some truth to what you said as far as you know South Carolina, being a little off, but it's not to take credit away from how dominant UCLA been all year. Um, and I guess if you just look at it from a lens of just the average, fan or whatnot, I think UCLA probably didn't get the credit they deserve all year for a couple of reasons. One, I mean, they play out on the West Coast, so a lot of people don't get a chance to really see them as often as you probably would see the UConns or the South Carolinas on a regular basis. Two, I mean, going to the brand of South Carolina, I mean, we know Dawn Staley and what she has done. UCLA has never really done it yet, even though they only lost one game this year. So it's like
Just
one of
really
those.
quickly, Jamar. Like really quickly, bro. UCLA only lost one game, by the way. And how disrespectful of people like me to dismiss this team when they actually had the second best record in the country behind UConn. UConn was 38-0. UCLA was 37-1.
Correct. And yet it was still, you have to prove it to us. That's because the president of how certain teams like UConn and South Carolina has been so dominant over, course of time, especially UConn. It's like one of those to where when UConn, we all know it's like when UConn is like dominant, typically nobody is beating them, usually in a lot of years, more times than not. But things changed. Regardless, I mean, you already pointed out one player that's projected to be a first round player for UCLA. Matter of fact, in the mock drafts, I think I've seen like 4 going in the top 10
Yeah, it's
already.
about three or four from from UCLA.
Which is insane. I'm like, sheesh, they pretty much pro ready team just out here, BTA. So no, they deserve all the credit in the world. Congrats to them. That's actually part of me is kind of glad because it's something new. It's like, of course, I want Don to win, but it's like if she can't win, it's like, okay, well, at least somebody new got it done. So it's like cool. So
Yeah. And bro, what's your thoughts from the Natty from the women's side?
Um, they were just a better team, man. Um, shout out to Don and South Carolina, but UCLA was just a better team, and I think the situation with Gino and Don happening and that whole game, it kind of overshadowed um the big game, until UCLA and South Carolina actually played, but better team won, man. Um, it was a great season for the women as well. And shout out to the UCLA girls, man. They balled, they did their thing. Um, we know we know Don in South Carolina will be back. You know, one of these years could be next year, could be the year after. So they'll be back. But it was just they just ran into a better team, and I think
Yeah,
with
they
all the with everything surrounding that game before, I wouldn't say it distracted them, but I don't know, maybe it kind of threw I don't know, kind of threw their focus off maybe a little bit.
yeah, man. Yeah. Because I feel like the focus for UConn was there, but you mix it with a combination of things. That big moment, I mean, literally, you going into the game, and the commentators are not even talking about X's and O's, fellas. They're not even talking about X's and O's. Andrea Carter and all them, you
Hmm.
know, Abubakar. They not even talking about X's and O's. They talking about this damn event.
yep.
And I'm like, come on, man. Like, you got to be talking about X's and O's here. And I literally said it to my brother. I'm like, man, I'm worried about South Carolina because all this happened and I ain't even gonna be focused to go into the game. And then on top of that, like you mentioned, Jamar, they out west, so nobody ain't watching UCLA like that. They haven't gotten it done yet. It's a prove it moment. And so we done seen a lot of great teams, Notre Dame's and Baylor's. They come up short. They won natties, don't get me wrong, Notre Dame and Baylor. But there's been years where they come up short and they lost one game, So it happens all the time on the women's side. But it was just like, did we really forget that they 37-1? Like, but it was easy to forget because of the greatness of the top, you watching the top 2 coaches in basketball at that moment, and you see them fight, and it's just like, wow. It's like Bill Belichick versus, I don't know, some other great coach, like just fighting on the sideline. Like it'll be
Yeah.
headlines. Like, you saw what happened?
Yeah, and it took the pressure off of UCLA, like for real.
Boom, boom,
Yep. Let them go under the
boom.
radar.
Yep. All they do is have to come in and play. Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. And they put B2A. And one thing about the women's side, fellas, is when you do good in this tournament and you come out with the natty and stuff like that, you see how quick they draft stock plummeted. I mean, like how quick they draft stock went up for UCLA. I
Oh
can
yeah,
guarantee you, fellas, before the tournament, there were not 4 women from UCLA that was
I,
projected in the top 10.
I would agree with you on that.
It was Lauren Betts, yes,
Yep.
and probably the Jacquez sister. But other than that, No, it was not 4. But after the tournament, they saw what she did against South Carolina. They like, okay, she probably could definitely do this at the next level. This is like mini WNBA University here over at South Carolina. And so, like you said, Jamar, they just had to come out and hoop.
Pretty much.
That's it.
They understood the assignment.
Yep. They understood. They got it done too. And so, fellas, NBA, man. Jamar, is Victor Wembanyama still winning MVP, bro?
If I had a vote, he would, but we're going to see what happens on that. Last night for him he had to play 20 minutes in that last game to qualify for the awards. And within those short minutes he played, the man dropped 40. Matter of fact, I read a stat this morning. He was the fastest player ever to drop 40, 10, and 5 in a game. Based on the minutes he played. Like, dude is unreal. He is not a human. I used to, as a kid playing NBA Live 98, I used to create players that was 7'11", doing the skill set he's done, knowing it's a video game, and he's doing this in real life. Like, this is not fair. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably end up giving it to Shea, but I think he is the MVP of this league. There's not an answer for him. I know Jokic the other night, the Joker definitely did his thing against him, but I'm pretty sure
last Saturday.
But I'm pretty sure the next time, if they end up playing again this year, I'm sure it's going to be a different story, because every time that Wemby's had a bad game against an opponent, the next time that he's played them, he's made you forget that it was a bad game the first time around. So, yeah, he's not fair. If he's not winning this year, he's damn sure winning next year.
Yeah, that Denver game, fellas, I got a chance to see it. I feel like if Victor Wembanyama would have actually played more in the game, he was very limited in his minutes, and I think that's strategic by the Spurs. But he was very limited in his minutes. I think if he would have probably played a little bit more earlier in the game, had a few more minutes, the Spurs could have won that game like they generally do. But Joker stood him up. You're right. Joker definitely stood him up. It took an overtime effort, but they got it done. That was a really, really, really good game. But let me ask you this, Jamar. If out of these two players, between Shea and Wemby, if Shea didn't win MVP, would you feel like he got robbed compared to Victor Wembanyama? If Victor Wembanyama don't win MVP, do you feel like which one? Because for me, I honestly feel like if Shea didn't win MVP, I feel like everybody gonna be screaming. Not everybody, but a lot of people gonna be like, Shea should have won MVP. For real.
I don't. Well, for me, I don't
like for real. Shea really, really should have won.
I don't see that, because I don't think the gap is that big to where we would be, ready to riot and burn down the league office if he didn't win. Last year, by all means, that was definitely his to win. If he didn't win, it's like, okay. But we were sitting here talking about 2 weeks ago that this was a 3 or 4 man race for this award, and that's because of how good the NBA was at the time. Before Luka's injury, we was throwing Luka in the conversation for MVP. So
yeah, he wasn't gonna win though.
No, but I didn't expect him to win. But he was in the conversation though. Right. So I don't think it would be like that for either or. I'm pretty sure there, like I said, more people wanting Shea to probably win than Wemby, and Shea probably is going to end up winning. But if Shea wins, it is what it is. If Wemby wins, I feel like it is what it is. Like, I don't think it's going to be a riot. I don't think it's going to be that backlash.
No, I never. I'm not really saying that hypothetically, bro, but I'm just saying if Shea was to not win, people will be like, wow, compared to Victor Wembanyama, especially after this injury. Now, if we talking he was healthy and he did not get injured, fellas, then fellas, man, that would be like one of the closest MVP races probably ever. But I guess it sucks to see Luka get injured towards the end of the season. K get injured in towards the end of the season, and Victor Wembanyama get injured towards the end of the season. It just in a way kind of tainted the MVP race for me now. And for me, I know it's still going to be a little close because people they know who deserves it. I feel like out of all of them, it's SGA. But I feel like more people would love to see Victor Wembanyama. They want to see. And the MVP award is a want award a lot. It's the best story. Sometimes it ain't always the best player or the most important player. We see that a lot with LeBron and Jordan in many years. But sometimes it's the best story. And the best story in that case is between we're really the two best stories. Unfortunately, it sucks for Cade, but he would have been up there too. The best story is definitely Detroit and San Antonio.
Yeah, because heck, Detroit is locked into the 1 seed in the East. Nobody saw that coming at the beginning of this year. And San Antonio is probably going to finish 2 games behind OKC for the best record in the NBA. Nobody saw that coming in this year, but we all expected OKC to be at the top of the league this year. So it's like, yeah, I agree with you as far as, the MVP award is, partially narrative driven. I mean, there's there's voters fatigue and all that stuff that comes along with it. Because, at the end of the day, it's humans voting on this. This ain't robots. So you're going to have. Yeah, you're right about that one. But
yeah, it's crazy now.
But yeah, I mean, I guess, the stories do matter to a certain degree. I mean, once again, nobody expected Detroit or San Antonio to finish where they're finishing when we started this conversation before, the association started this year. Nobody expected this. I didn't expect this. I expected, San Antonio to be in the playoffs, but I expect them to be 2 games behind the freaking Spurs. And I expected Detroit to progress from last year, but I expect them to have the best record in the league, especially with the New York Knicks being pretty much healthy throughout the whole year. So, yeah, that definitely, makes things more interesting for sure.
For sure. And bro, yeah, man, your MVP, I know you was going Victor. You feel like it's still Victor. He did just have 40-15 last night. 40, 10, and 5. Like dominant numbers. Who you feel like getting the MVP, bro? To change, you still got Victor. Because it's gonna be a close race, very close.
Yeah, it's gonna be a close race. I think it's still between Wemby and SGA. It's just like you said, they kind of changed the trajectory of it, especially with the 65 game rule and things of that nature. So technically, I mean, it's really only down to these two. Um, I mean, in you guys' opinion, I mean, who else would be even considered for it that has played that many games? Like you said, it's no Cade Cunningham. I know Anthony Edwards didn't miss too many games.
Just had to be the brother from Boston. Just the brother from Boston.
Jaylen Brown.
But I think his MVP race diminished when Jason Tatum came back. So, based off narrative, it's just those two.
Yeah. I don't feel like Jaylen Brown's gonna win, but I do feel like he deserves consideration, fellas.
He'll probably get
based off of what he did the entire year, leading Boston to 2 seed right now in the East, over New York, which you mentioned, and was healthy most of the year. He definitely deserves some votes, and he deserves some votes, Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, he deserves some votes. Yeah.
Jaylen Brown,
votes for sure.
Definitely deserve votes. I feel like he won't ever win the MVP for other reasons, but that's another.
Same reason why he wasn't on the Olympic team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, he be shortchanging these brothers, man.
Pro-black, especially
Jaylen Brown. Right, as you took it out of my mouth, literally. Pro-black brothers. But fellas, based off of the East right now, Jason Tatum, what is it? He basically, I'm watching the Knicks and Celtics the other night. He not himself fully. You know what I'm saying? He getting there, but he not himself. You know what I'm saying? Like he getting back. He kind of he was scaring me the other night because he looked like he almost injured himself. It kind of reminded me of that AD. Remember when AD got off the ACL and his leg would be he'll dribble and he'll fall, and then you see the leg stay still. It don't move. And I'm like, oh shit, is he injured again? I'm like, no, not again in New York. This happened last year. But he wasn't injured. But yeah, you know, it's the same injury that literally happened to him last year in the playoffs in New York. And I was just looking at the game. Boston played him well without Jaylen Brown. He didn't play. And so I'm curious, fellas. Detroit is tough. Boston is hanging around with everybody, and they don't even play all 8 players, and they still hanging around with everybody. But New York, fellas, New York is interesting because they I just feel like they kind of was saving themselves for the playoffs, if that makes sense. And for guys like Josh Hart, kind of remind you of John Starks, they don't care about nothing prior to this. They just care about April, May, and June.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, Knicks set the bar high for themselves, especially based off of moves they did in the offseason, particularly the head coaching spot. So I mean, we gonna see where the chips fall when it's time to cash in. Because in order for them to get back to where they were at least at last year, they will have to go through Boston. They will have to, because I don't anticipate Boston losing to the combination of Orlando, Philly, or Charlotte. So even though the Charlotte one is a little interesting, but they gonna have to get through them again. Can they do it with this Mike Brown led Knickerbockers team? I don't know. I just know they better.
Right.
Or you're gonna have riots outside of Madison Square Garden talking about we want Tibbs back.
Right. But I mean, like you mentioned, Jamal, you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Atlanta's been hot. They've been one of the hottest teams. And wouldn't that be crazy, bro, if the Hawks knocked off New York in the first round?
They wouldn't play though.
Yeah, they wouldn't play there enough.
Well,
oh no, Atlanta's in the 6, fellas. I thought Atlanta's in the 6 and New York's in the 3.
As of right now, Atlanta's in the 5.
Yep.
Okay, who's in the 6 right now?
Toronto
Raptors.
So okay, the Raptors. Okay, because the Raptors lost. Yeah. Okay, I was looking at the standings on Thursday night. Okay, and so.
But shout out to Atlanta because they did officially clinch a playoff spot and not a play-in. So I don't think we saw that coming entering this season either.
Nah, not at all. Especially with the trade and everything like that.
Yeah,
right.
Is that addition by subtraction?
7-3 in last 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the Knicks, y'all feel like if they play Toronto or Atlanta, that they will get past them, right?
I give them, I give them the benefit of the doubt to get out the first round. I do. Because for one, they're more playoff tested. This group has a lot of minutes in the playoffs. So that I feel like that experience means a lot. And also they have a closer in Jalen Brunson. I have more trust in them against those teams in the first round by far.
Right. So the Knicks will heavily be judged by this. If they make the second round, that's what they're going to be judged off of. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, that's the NBA. And y'all got anything else from the NBA, fellas, before we move on to the W?
The Bulls suck.
Yeah, shout out to the Bulls for letting go of the GM finally. Oh, thanks for bringing that up, Ian. Thanks for bringing that up, bro.
Yeah.
Why do they still want to keep this man, Billy Donovan? Y'all heard Jerry Reinsdorf? He went out and publicly stated Michael Reinsdorf, excuse me, not Jerry, the son now. He went out and he publicly stated anybody that's coming here, they better embrace Billy Donovan as the head coach. You better embrace him. Get used to him.
So
He
all right.
publicly stated that, which means there's a lot of affection he got for that brother Billy Donovan.
So like for me, I feel like Billy, how can I put this? I would say the lack of success with Billy Donovan for me in the Bulls organization, a lot of it is not on him. It was more so on the other two clowns that was there and the owner for not giving a damn about who they put on his roster for him to, to coach. With that being said, like if I'm in charge, if I was the owner, I would want a clean slate all the way around to build this thing back up from the ground where everybody on the same page. For him to come out and say what he said, it does limit the search and it does makes things complicated. But there is still a scenario where Billy Donovan's not there because Billy Donovan didn't say that I would come back either.
Right. Based off of what he said last night, and I don't know if you guys saw the headlines on ESPN, but he doesn't sound like he's too excited. He sounds like he's like, hey, I understand he embraced me, but
yeah. I mean, to be honest, like Billy Donovan came here, he didn't come here for a rebuild. He came here to like get the team further along. And yeah, in the first year where the Bulls was, kicking butt until Alonzo Ball's injury and everything went downhill, and then all the dumb decisions that the team has made since then. I mean, they kind of like put him in a rebuild situation that he never asked to be in.
Right.
And that goes back to, I feel like his lack of success is not, I feel like majority of it is not his fault. It's just not. He just happened to be wrong place, wrong time. You could say the same thing if we went football terms. Justin Fields to a certain degree. Like Justin Fields was not put in the best position to succeed here in Chicago. They was obviously tanking. They didn't want to put nobody around them. But nevertheless, that's neither here nor there. But it's just give an example of how you can be as great of a coach or a player or whatever the case may be, but if the environment is toxic, then it's like, what do you expect the outcome to be?
Right.
So I don't have any ill will against Billy, but at the same time, it's like I would want a clean slate too, just all the way around, including the owners. Like y'all can go fly a kite somewhere.
Yeah, the GM, man, I guess they thought, hey, we did what we did in Denver, it's gonna work. But
have either one of y'all ever heard Mark Eversley talk? I mean, he's the actual GM. AK was the president of, like, no, I don't even know what Mark Eversley looked like.
Neither one of them talk. AK can't even talk English that well, and I'm not being funny. Like,
no, you're right. And the press conferences was dry and just continue.
Yeah, he can't speak English that well. Mark Eversley never said much either. The ownership stated that they want somebody more vocal. That's what they stated. Additionally, they stated that outside of 2017, which is, yes, we know about that number one seed we had with Lonzo Ball and all them. That was short-term success, though, and they want somebody now that's going to build a long-term contender. Not just the success for a couple weeks, a couple shots made by DeMar DeRozan. Oh, yeah. But actually some long-term success now. And based off of that, I just honestly feel like based off of what he said, it's a contradiction because Billy Donovan has not been successful since he's been here. Yes, he was successful in OKC, but that's because he had Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant in his 5 seasons. Yes, and he had SGA. He had 3 great players in that time frame. And not Kevin Durant, but no, he probably did have Kevin Durant because he's been in 6 seasons. He had him in his final season.
Yeah,
his first season, right?
Yeah, when it was 3-1 against.
Yeah, up 3-1. Yeah, he had him in his first season, and he had a lot of great players in OKC, fellas. But coming here to Chicago, he ain't had much to work with. But even amongst that, I just feel like I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I just feel like the franchise might need a fresh face, if that makes sense, to lead those group of guys, this new group of guys, That's just me.
We need tryouts. You used to try out for the middle school and high school team. That's what the Bulls need. They open up the tryouts to the general public.
A tryout.
They need to let go Patrick Williams.
Oh man, that's what probably got them fired, right, Jamar? It probably so, right? I mean, that contract they gave him, it was pretty bad.
They said the Jaden Ivey situation was the final straw, but that dude.
I feel like it contributed, Jamar. Really?
Oh yeah.
They know they should not have paid him. They know they should not have paid him 100 plus. They gave him that man eating good.
Man, and then Patrick Williams said when they asked about the departure of AK and Eversley, he was like, "Yeah, man, I appreciate those guys. I wonder why."
I bet he do. And so yeah, man, Patrick Williams, like that's just man. Shout out to they draft prospects, by the way. I mean, who have they really drafted since we let it sink in?
Martez Buzelis, that's it.
Probably okay, and Kobe White, the best draft pick since they've been here.
Kobe White was a Garpax pick. He don't count for them.
Oh, damn, okay. And so, like, outside of that, okay, Buzelis.
That's it.
But I'm going to go here, fellas. Remember last year at the end of the year, the Bulls were hot, fellas. Remember? Y'all remember? Remember Kobe White was torching shit, Jamar? Torching shit. I think they were on like I forgot how many games they won out of the last 15, but they were hot. And Kobe White was like Eastern Conference Player of the Month, maybe 2 months in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Torching shit. So coming into the season, we had expectations. Like, I expected the Bulls to be better than what they were. I'm not saying I was expecting them to be somewhere they'll be, same ballpark, usual, as you always say, in same ballpark, playing and shit like that. Playing Miami, stuff like that.
On the lose.
I expected that. But when you started out at 5-0, I'm like, all right, the Bulls playing fast. You know what I'm saying? Josh Giddey was balling at the end of the year last year.
We was sitting here talking about like, hey, are we gonna actually, buy the package to watch these Bulls? We talked about that briefly. We're like, nah, let's wait it out a little longer just to see if they, sustainable. And as soon as we talked about it, it went downhill quick.
Yeah, fellas, y'all know I remember every word as the host. It was you, and you stated it specifically. We were talking about it. You like, pump the brakes. Let's watch it for a little bit longer. It's early right now.
They was undefeated. That's why I said I'm not turning them on. I'm not gonna pay attention. I'm gonna just turn my head with my eyes closed like this. And then in the next couple weeks, they was back to the Bulls. I was like, yep.
Right.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. And I mean, Jamar, your exact words was, I'm not going to buy the subscription yet for the channel because I want to see more. The exact words. And turns out, as soon as y'all said that same week, everything just started to plummet for the Bulls. And, you knew once they did that trade, you like, yeah, what Jamar and has been saying for years now is finally coming to a fruition of a rebuild. And they finally tired of having this play-in crap and being somewhere 9-10 seed, but they want to build a long-term winner now. And so
they do.
I guess in this case, fellas, I hope that they do. It's gonna be a little bit of pain in the process, but you gotta do what you gotta do,
And the last thing I'll say to close all this, so the Bulls have their number one in cap space entering the summer. And for what people are saying, for some reason it is a desirable job because I guess the mindset is whoever comes in and turns around the Bulls, would have a legacy forever type deal. Get them back to back to the glory days of what made the Bulls brand around the world per se. So it's like you have the money.
That's gonna take another Michael Jordan, and we ain't getting that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get that.
But check.
We don't get that twice in a lifetime.
Right. You definitely don't. You definitely don't, fellas. You definitely don't. Um, I got a couple more things, fellas.
Yeah.
Damn. With the Bulls, I think it was with the Bulls. Keep in mind, still overseas, they are so popular. The Bulls.
Yeah.
Everything you see here is 23, red 23, blue 23, Jordan, Chicago jerseys. That's all the Bulls. Like no bullshit. That brand is strong, fellas. But I'm worried because if they continue to suck, Jamar, and they're trash, it's not good. But it's like a brand that's waiting to explode. You see? It's like a bubble waiting to burst. Because that brand is super popular. When you come out of the United States, it's super popular. I don't know. At least I know in France it is, in Africa, both of
Because
those.
of one person.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One person and it's crazy.
Super.
When we talking about like decades later,
30 years
yeah,
ago.
he ain't even
Right.
played.
Well, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Won
30
his
years
first
ago, they was in
championship 35
second
years
three-peat
ago.
right now.
And it really exploded. What after the Olympics, y'all feel like, fellas? The Bulls
Yeah, that
brand
the
really
dream
exploded
team,
after the Dream Team.
the dream team put the biggest stars on the map, and then Michael did what he did with that second three-peat really did it.
Yeah, man. And so incredible. But fellas, speaking of greatness, LeBron, man, I know they ain't gonna do much, but he looks great at 41, fellas. The man looks freaking incredible. Like, I just wish he defended more, but I guess he got to preserve himself for offense. And we'll
Yeah.
see, him give more effort in the playoffs. But he'll give more effort defensively in the playoffs. But man, the dude looks great, man. But let me ask y'all: do the Lakers even win a game in their first round series?
Yeah,
Maybe they get gentlemen swept.
I both of you know how I
Depends
feel
on
about. Go ahead, yeah.
depends on who they play, but um it depends on who they play. They could go to 5, 6, or maybe even 7, but depends on the matchups. And but I don't think they're gonna do much in the playoff, honestly. I mean, with losing, I don't know if AR is coming back at all.
I don't think he's
Same.
gonna come back in time. Not in time for them to win
I
anything.
don't
No.
know about I don't know about Luca either. So I don't know. I mean, they can't. You're not gonna be able to depend on the 41-year-old LeBron. Yeah, he's doing some good things, but um, nah. Gentlemen swept,
Yeah.
maybe 4-2. Depending on the matchup, though, they could get a favorable matchup and maybe win the series, but it just depends on the matchup. But me personally, I don't see it. Um,
Right. I mean, if they would
So
have won the series, and that would be like incredible. With a
yeah,
41-year-old LeBron, that would be incredible, man. That's asking a whole lot, but it would be incredible. That would be freaking incredible. I don't think we ever see that.
yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, as it stands, the Lakers would play the Rockets in the first round, which I feel like that'll be a more favorable matchup for them, considering they have beat the Rockets, I think, at least 3 times this year. They do have a chance to get to the three, which if they did, they end up playing Minnesota, which I think would not be a good matchup for them.
no,
Um,
Yeah.
because they got a YN and Anthony Edwards that don't give two bleeps about anything, and that they'll probably run up the pace on them, and that'll be a wrap. But I think LeBron, and you both of you know how I kind of feel about the guy, but I can't say that he's good enough to win you at least one game for sure. Because he's at any given point, he can, he still could be the best player out on the floor for stretches at times. He definitely can. I give him that.
Hmm.
It just goes back to the two biggest things for me with the Lakers team. One, can you defend at a high level, at biggest stretches and points and times in games, which, you know, overall, you have not shown it lately. A little better than the beginning, but still not there. And then two, consistent shooting? Is it there? Like, yeah, I know you traded for Luke Kennard, but that's only one player. I mean, you're missing other two guys that can light it up from behind the arc. So it's like, I don't think you want to get into a shootout with any one of those teams, even though Houston is a better matchup for you. But still, I mean, you're going against another Hall of Fame player that easily is considered the best scorer in this league's history. So it's like, do you want to get into that? So it all depends on the style of play as well, because JJ Redick, he is a brilliant basketball mind, in my opinion. He's definitely smart out there. So whatever he does in any one of these series, it has to be very methodical, because if it gets into a track meet or a running gun type style, a fast break type game, goodbye. Sayonara.
Right,
If
right, right.
any one of those teams go up 20, goodbye.
Right. Now, if they get up early against the Lakers, yeah. And JJ Redick, he's known. If things ain't going well, he take you out. And that's why y'all see so many blowouts with the Lakers. You be like, damn, they got their ass whooped. But that's because JJ Redick could pull you out if you ain't giving effort.
Yeah, I
He's
respect
made that known. Yeah, and that's why he got into it with Jared Vanderbilt the other week or the other
I
day.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, they got into it because of that. And so he's known to do that. He is a brilliant basketball man, but I do wonder if there's some dysfunction in that organization, fellas. And I'm curious to know, and I'm just kind of looking ahead here. Post LeBron, are you keeping JJ there? You know, like post LeBron, because him and JJ Redick was doing a podcast. I remember, fellas, during the pandemic before. You know, so obviously LeBron had a big say so in the hiring of JJ Redick. And so, you know, with Luka going forward, which for me, I know everybody loves Luka, but his health is a super concern for me. I hope he'll turn out to be an 82.0.
So,
but
And maybe that's
going
why you
forward,
let him go.
Yeah, going forward, man. Do JJ, you know, go ahead, Jamar.
I think you keep. For me, I would keep him because he's one of the people that actually holding mofos accountable. Like, so if you get rid of, if LeBron walks, and let's just say they say, okay, well, LeBron's gone, we don't need you here either. Now the narrative, if it's true or not, it's gonna look like, well, Luka's a coach killer now. And we all know how that narrative goes. Like, with the star player, the team don't do right. All of a sudden, more times than not, the owner's going back to players. So now, you know, that job doesn't seem as secure as it should probably be. So it's like, you get rid of the person that holds somebody accountable for somebody that's a yes man, then that lets me know exactly what's about to happen.
Yeah. And bro, yeah, man, what you think about that? Like, you think let me ask you this, bro. Do you think that LeBron could be in his final playoff run, final season with the Lakers?
I think so. I think their relationship is kind of souring out. Um, where would he go? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, personally, I think he needs to retire, but I mean, he's still doing
You don't
some.
think it should go? You don't think it should give a final run in Cleveland?
That'd be the only place he would go, in my opinion. If
I would say, me too.
Yeah,
I think
I mean,
think
yeah.
Cleveland.
But
Give a one more run in Cleveland.
how do they make that work? You know, they got Donovan Mitchell. So now we essentially saying that Donovan Mitchell or James Harden's going to be traded because I mean, well, maybe I don't know. That's just how does that even work with? I don't see them having all three of those guys.
Right. I think it could work because from what I've been hearing, uh, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, bro, they've been advocating to the front office already for LeBron to come there for next season. And so it appears to me that they both will be there alone with LeBron and Evan Mobley. All
I
four.
mean,
Now they're gonna be trash as hell on the bench. You get my point.
yeah,
But
no
they
depth at
they
all.
they gonna have a strong start lineup. Kind of remind you of those Heat teams, bro. terrible bench, but a super strong starting five. And so um, they've been advocating seriously. I've been hearing that a lot. And so in regards to them doing that, they have to let go of a lot of those role players, Max Struss, um, Dennis Schroeder, uh, you know, a couple guys like that. Just a lot of role players. You probably let go of Jared Allen too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna need a guy like Jared Allen.
But if you got Evan Mobley, you got to make a choice between the two.
Yeah, for sure.
If
So,
if it's you, who would you keep, Evan or Jared?
um,
Just from a team perspective, not from a money perspective. Just from a hooping perspective, who gives you the best chance to win?
I think Evan Mobley does.
Because it's versatility. Because
Yeah, I think Evan Mobley does. But you bring in LeBron over there, that takes the ball out of his hands. It's only one ball, so somebody gonna be the odd
mhm.
man out. Um, and more than likely, it probably would be. It was. I mean, it should be LeBron, but more than likely it would be one of those other guys like
Right.
Donovan Mitchell or Mobley. But I don't know. That's a lot. They'll be very top heavy, and I don't think they would have enough depth. And then LeBron's 40 something years old, so he ain't playing every night.
You should. I mean, I know he ain't playing every night, but I know he's gonna play in the playoffs. He's gonna play towards the end of the season. He's in great shape. He's in unbelievable shape, man.
Yeah, that's hope not saying that I want to get hurt. Hopefully he wouldn't get hurt, but yeah, he is in great shape. So
Great shape. Great shape.
that's
And
a lot to
so,
put on a 41-year-old NBA player that's still
well, it'd
playing
be
at a high level.
42 in that case. 42.
Right. But
Right. And
I
so
th
you're right.
me from a
It's a
me from
lot,
a fan
but
perspective, I think it's time, but uh,
and I wanna really just point this out, dog. I
mhm.
would love to see a New York Cleveland series with James Harden on the floor, either Evan Mobley, LeBron James versus a Jalen Brunson, led Knicks team versus a Detroit. I would love to see that, dog. I would love to see that personally. Like, see them play against Boston. Like I would love to see that. And LeBron in his final run and the possibility of making the finals in his final run.
Yeah.
And honestly, if that roster's with LeBron in Cleveland, I'm going with Cleveland over everybody in the East for me. Yeah,
Mm,
just for me. Yeah. I know this Detroit and all of them is nice, but I don't know if they will have enough. I don't know if they have enough to beat LeBron. Because he'll have a lot of help on his side in that point. Um, and so, man, you know, but you feel like he should retire, right? And you feel like he should hang it up after this.
yeah, I think it's time in a sense.
Yeah.
That's my guy though.
Hmm.
I think it's time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, man. I enjoy watching LeBron though, man, because I enjoy seeing like this age ain't nothing but a number type thing, bro. Like
Yeah.
the man doing shit is like incredible, bro. Like it's like, man, like what? And so, yeah, bro. I don't know if you got anything for the basement, man. Um, Jamar, he's away.
Um, well, I had my question earlier for the basement with the Michigan question.
Right, right,
Um,
right. Yeah, yeah. And so, in this case, bro, any final thoughts or shout outs, bro, as we head into the weekend?
yeah, it's gonna be a pretty decent weekend out here. So everybody enjoy the weekend. Be safe, stay prayed up, stay blessed. Um, and God on your side, anything is possible.
Yes, sir.
Um, got the NFL draft coming up. Um,
Mm-hmm. WNBA is Monday too.
yep. Oh, we didn't talk about Andrew Reese.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
We didn't, and
yeah.
so,
How you feel about the Andrew Reese trade before we get out of here?
man, bro, I feel like the Sky they didn't give her a fair deal, in my opinion. Um,
Got two first
you
rounders
know,
for her though.
yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Um, but the second 2028 is conditional. It could be swapped. But
Mm,
the highest of it'll be a second round pick in 2028 if it's swapped. So it ain't like it's super, but it is a first round pick technically, right? The swap link is very unlikely in. It's very unlikely. So because why would you swap a first round pick for a second? You just wouldn't do that. But anyhow, uh, man, I just see now in Atlanta, bro, all the Instagram followers that went up. My sister who lived in Atlanta, she is Chicago. Well, she was a Sky fan, but now she an Atlanta Dream fan. She lives near Atlanta. Oh, Brandon, we gonna go to the games now. Oh, really? So like you see like just everything in Atlanta just turned up now, bro, because of Angel Reese being down there. Um, the Sky done let go of so many good players, man. I even go back to Elena Della Don. Like she left the Sky, won a championship. But even before her, Sylvia Fowles, fellas, who went and had a dynasty in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? MVP of the league couple years, WNBA Finals MVP 2 times. They let all these players go. You know, um, you let go of even last season that started the anger for Angel Reese when you let go of Kennedy Carter, who was killing, fellas, who was killing, and you let her go for what, really? You fired Teresa Weatherspoon for what, really? Like for what? And
yeah.
so the Sky organization, man, it's one of the girls in that you graduated with in '09. She married the LC, little chocolate
Oh,
from the football team.
um,
Nisha
um,
Brown.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Her and her mother are big Chicago Sky fans. I don't know if you know, big
Mm,
Sky fans. They be at like damn near all the games. And like her mother posted like she done with the Sky. Like
mm,
but she didn't say she done. She said she want to see what they do in the draft. And
yeah.
so, you know, but I do I don't like the trade, honestly. I wish they would have kept her. But I mean now you got Camilla, and so you gotta put more into her. But I feel like she not better than Angel nowhere near. And last thing I want to say is I heard from Corey Lockwood that Rakia Jackson, who is the original, that's who Corey thought they should have picked before Angel. I remember this specifically on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast page. He like they
Yeah.
should pick Rakia at number 3, not Angel. I'm like, okay. But they ended up picking Rakia at number 4. I mean at number 3, and then Angel at number 4. But she could be rumored to come to the Sky. Not saying that she would help us win much, but I don't know. I don't even know how I would feel about that trade either. I just feel like you should just continue to tank, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
yeah, Jamar.
Whew. Terrible organization, huh?
They a bad organization, the Sky, man. They always letting go
Yeah.
all their good players.
Yeah, you hinted at it. I was gonna mention that part. All the great players over the years. Heck, I think, man, you think the Chicago Bulls are bad? I mean, this organization is right up there with them.
They got a
Yeah,
championship
yeah.
recently though.
It overcame all the flaws that was still going on behind the scenes, and there was a lot of shit going on behind the scenes too.
In
And
spite
I
of the
learned
organization, they
that
won.
in spite of the organization. Keep in mind that when they went into the playoffs, saying nobody had them as a favorite. Nobody. They just surprised everybody and got hot at the right time, sort of like some NFL 05, 01 Ravens type stuff. Like, oh, out of nowhere they hot. That's what happened with the Sky in the playoffs that year.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I do have something for us though, real quick. If we want to pivot over to that.
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead, bro.
All right. So this is going to be I guess a workshop for you gentlemen here. This is going to be a group effort for you two. So I saw a reel the other day, and it kind of triggered my thought on all this because it kind of pissed me off. Somehow there was somebody, it had to be a young person, debating if the 25 Thunder is better than the 17 Warriors. And I'm sitting here like, you got to be kidding me.
Wow.
But yeah, that blew my mind. But for you gentlemen, I want you, the last 5 NBA champions, I want
Look
you
at
to
this Curry.
collectively. Oh, so the last 5 NBA champions, which I will give you the list real quick. I want you to collectively to rank them as far as, from best to worst. And so, with that being said, of course, last year's champion, the Oklahoma City Thunder. 24 was the Boston Celtics. 23 was the Denver Nuggets. 22 was the Golden State Warriors. 21 was the Milwaukee Bucks. You all come to a consensus and rank them in order of which one was the best to worst champions.
So best to worst. And so, in your opinion, and who is the worst, bro?
Hold on, give me 1 second.
So last year the Thunder, previous before that was the Celtics, previous before that was who was it? The Nuggets. Previous before that was the Warriors, and then the Bucks. Yeah, I know for me probably the worst out of all those teams, and these are all good teams. I would say the Warriors. What about you, Ian? Between the Warriors and Bucks.
Years?
Yep.
The last 5 years. So we got the Bucks, Thunder, Celtics, Nuggets, and Warriors. And so last year was the Thunder, previous before that Celtics, before that Nuggets, Warriors, and Bucks. And man, when I kind of look at the I don't know, for me
would probably.
Wait, and can I hear who?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, my headphone must went up. I think the best team would be between the 23 Nuggets or the 24 Celtics. And I think I would take the 23 Nuggets.
As the best?
In the last 5 years, yeah.
Who I would pick the Celtics.
I can't argue with that. I mean, I can see that.
I would pick the Celtics as the best, but who would you pick as the worst?
Because
for me, I think it's no disrespect to the Warriors, but I feel
I think it'd be I think it'll be the Warriors.
Yeah, because
the Warriors are the Thunder.
Right. Because I felt like Boston could have won that series against the Warriors. But even then, the Bucks obviously they could have lost to the Suns too. But
and the Thunder could have lost to.
They could have lost to the Pacers.
Yeah.
The Pacers are just super hot, man.
Yeah. So that's why I got those two teams as the top teams because they dominated in the finals, basically. The Celtics and the Nuggets.
Right. Celtics played the weak ass Heat. Excuse my French, but the Heat was hot that year too.
No, they played. They played Dallas.
Sorry, not the Celtics. I meant to say the Nuggets played the Heat. The Nuggets played the Heat and dominated Bam Adebayo.
The eighth seed that the Bulls lost to, and they went all the way to the finals.
Exactly. Right.
I had to throw that in
And
there.
so, yeah,
Sorry
man.
about that.
Right. And so,
At
and
least
that's
we
what I
lost to
got,
the
bro.
Eastern Conference champions.
I know, right? I got the Celtics as the best team. Um, you know, I feel like if we put the Celtics and the Nuggets on the court, um, with those teams, it'll be a 7-game series for sure. But I don't know, man. I feel like the Celtics probably would escape because of the Jaylen Brown X factor. But that would be a great series. Oh my God, that would be great. So the Celtics, Nuggets, last year Thunder, Bucks, and Warriors. That's what I got for the 5.
Do
You get-
both of you all agree on that?
Right, that's my question to you, Ian. What you think?
Yeah, I don't have no. Yeah, I agree. I don't have no pushback on that.
Okay.
All right, so
It's definitely
yeah,
not no
Jamar.
damn Thunder.
No, it's not the Thunder. No.
They're a great team. I'm not gonna take nothing away from them. They're a great team, but not in the last 5 years. They're not the best champion. Hell no.
No. No, if they would have played that Celtics team,
Because
Celtics
they
would
could
have
have lost to
put
the
their ass
Pacers in
on
Game 7.
It's exactly my
Probably
point.
don't get
Exactly
hurt.
my point. Right. Exactly. The Celtics would have put belt ass to them. The Celtics would have annihilated them. That would have been a 4-2 series. And so Jamar, Celtics, bro, Nuggets, Thunder, Bucks, Warriors.
cool. All right, so of course I did my list prior to. I just wanted to see what you all had. That's a good list. I mean, mine is very similar. Pretty much I went with the Nuggets first, then the Celtics, and then everything else: Thunder, Bucks, Warriors in that order. But that pretty much the Nuggets and the Celtics for me is almost like flip a coin.
Yeah.
Because I think during that 2-year span, I think we was kind of hoping those two teams played each other in the finals.
Right, we were.
Good too, yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah. That's facts. And Miami spoiled it. Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
So because that Game 7 was in Boston, and Miami ended up winning.
It was in Boston. Remember, Boston was up 3-0, fellas. That series went 7.
Yeah.
Boston tried their best to come back. It would have been an epic comeback.
It was it Jimmy in the last minute or so? It was something. It was something crazy how that series ended.
Yeah. I remember Game 6 turned out to be crazy when Derek White hit that layup, like with 0.2, 0.3 seconds left, and everybody thought Miami was gonna win.
Yeah.
I'm like, the game over. He finna go to the final. Derek White did a tip in. I'm like, oh shit, the Celtics.
Yeah, that's where
I come back.
Yeah, I remember that.
That
was crazy.
It was it was a really good series, man. And that Game 7 turned out to be a classic too, but the Heat ended up escaping.
Yeah, because everybody thought the winner of Game 6 was gonna win the series, because going back to Boston for Game 7, we all thought it was a foregone conclusion. Boston would have won. Yeah, I don't know. Jeez, but
yeah.
But I hope you all like that exercise.
Man, that was great, bro.
That was cool. We gotta do that more.
That was cool, bro. Yeah, for real. Make us work, make our brains work. And so, fellas, man, it's a weekend, man. Now, one thing we got to do, we got to get this damn algorithms up, man. I'm trying to tag the world. We got to get our algorithms up so people can see what we're doing. But, fellas, as we head into the weekend, man, any final thoughts or shout-outs?
I don't know. I'm going brain dead. No, I'm playing. For one, I don't know. This might be a backhanded compliment, but shout out to the Bulls for actually, kicking those guys to the curb, even though they didn't do it properly all the way around. But they did something. They did something. I thought, knowing them, they probably would have kept them for another couple of years. But hey, they did something. There's somebody breathing in that organization. Somebody. I think. But yeah, but nonetheless, NCAA tournaments, those end up being great. They go by so fast, but I definitely appreciate the moments that happened. April is, I would say, one of my top 5 sports months of the year. I mean, we got the Masters this weekend. It would be better if some other players were playing, but nevertheless, Masters is always a good event. But the weather's getting warmer. You all enjoy, all that good stuff. And shout out to both of you all for coming back like a shark attack. Put clothes on our back. We out here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my boy, bro, got anything for us, bro?
The Bulls suck.
Mhm.
Hopefully our baseball teams they get it together this year. Excited to see what they're gonna do. Got the NFL draft coming up. NBA playoffs is upon us, so yeah, man. Getting warm outside. Stay safe. Enjoy your time. Stay prayed up.
Absolutely.
So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, shout out to you, fellas. As I continue to think about sports, right, and as I continue to think about how sports is like a big part of our life, you two guys have been very solid in your knowledge, and I want to give you guys your compliments, man. Jamar, shout out to you, my bro, for pointing out the Big Ten prior to the tournament, and how we got a Big Ten champion on both the men and women's side now due to that West Coast
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, right.
And so,
Right. All three major sports.
Yeah, man. It almost came down to hockey too, because University of Wisconsin is in the final for hockey. It could have been Michigan and Wisconsin, Jamar. It could have been, but it came down to a double overtime thriller, which is a great game. And so Big Ten right now is running things on the college landscape. But you guys mentioned the drafts. WNBA draft is on Monday, and so I'm excited to see what the Sky do, and see if what moves they make to try to build that organization up. And other than that, fellas, yeah, man, great weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the weather. On this side, it's raining, so it won't be no beach today. But it's warm. No, last Saturday. And so, like, it's off and on, but it's like a vigilance. What do you call it? Like some hurricane, like possible type stuff. So it's like raining. But it ain't nothing too serious. So that happens all the time in the Caribbean. And so, yeah, man. So a lot of sports. Yes, I'm in the Caribbean, fellas, but I got a VPN. And so I will be watching everything, not everything, but mostly everything. And so with that being said, on behalf of the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, we would like to say thank you for tuning in with us. Continue to shop it up with support our podcast on various platforms. And if you are and would love to talk sports with us on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, we are here. We are solid. We've been watching sports all our lives. We would love to do so with you. Your love, support is truly appreciated. And we hope you all have a blessed and safe weekend. Peace.